It's literally at 0. In the first 30 seconds, no one can even watch the stream because it automatically plays an ad. So, hey, y'all, to anybody watching the replays only, because we're still in the first 30 seconds of the stream. That's very, very clever. Very cute. Oh, and subs don't have to watch ads. Do subs bypass the initial ad that is auto rolled by Twitch? I wonder. I do wonder that. See, and someone is here instantly. Question. You're lurking. Never mind. You're not going to answer my questions. You're lurking. You're not lurking. Okay. You're not a sub. Never mind. Are you a Twitch guy? You a Twitch guy or gal? I don't know who you are. I mean, you're Punch Drinker. You're part of the Hype Squad, but I don't know who you are. Um, yes. So, hey, I love when like different days are different crowds, right? Kaylee, did you make it to work that day? I did not stay up in solidarity, but I swear I only got like no more than 5 hours of sleep that day, but more likely less. I remember it was rough for everyone. Good. Glad to see you here. You still have a job and everything. It's great. Um, yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah. I was gonna ask if like so Twitch forces the initial 30-second ad at the beginning of the stream, and then like if someone is subbed to the channel, they don't have to watch ads. But do they have to watch the first one that's not from me, but from Twitch? Just because they're on Twitch, even though they're subbed to me and don't have to watch ads, I'm not. Anyway, that's like a really oddly specific question. I just was curious about that because I can't turn that one off. So it's like, does everyone have to watch it? Either way, I have to play more. That's why I brought this up. I'll be back in 3 minutes so that we have control of the timer. Dude, a lot of people say that, which is so dope, right? Like, not gonna complain. Maybe you have an ad blocker or something. Probably not if it's on your phone. I don't know how that works actually. So, um, yeah, it's great. Um, I guess. Well, I just was gonna read tonight. I've been reading. Be Here Now. Been fun to critique, to say the least. Um, but also it's sweetly insightful. Um, Guess we could chit chat for a minute before we start reading. But either way, I have to roll the ads first. Otherwise, we will have them roll when out of my control, and I don't like that. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Oh. Sorry to hear about the cat. I love cats. I'm a cat person. I can still remember having my cat down unexpectedly when he was like only 12, which seems old, but for a cat is just not really sick unexpectedly. Never really get over certain things, I think. Hey, it's that real, Mr. Weird. I don't know why I did my Moribund the Burgermeister voice. Thank you. I feel like I smudged it up so much. I can't stop touching it. Oddly enough, it seems the color's still there, but the ring light, even though it's not actually facing me, seems to really wash it out. But there's like a sunset on my forehead, clouds, and a butterfly, the flowers, and all those things. I thought it was cute as hell. So thank you. Thank you very much. Left it on my face for like so many hours because I figured I'd come on here and wear it for the stream. I was like, oh, I already got my makeup done for stream. But I do want to be here now. So, I'm sorry that you are grieving a loss this evening. And I can't leave. You know, it's funny because even as a necromancer, I think it is difficult with animals because you never do speak to them, so you never get to speak to them, but then you can't ever speak to them. You know, it hits home. Cheers to Baba. Definitely water. I wasn't chugging anything but water. Here, here. Little bubbles, settlers. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm going to be reading. So that's like the perfect time to lurk and fall asleep, actually. So I'm glad you're here. We're picking up on B here now. I pretty much, man, I can't show you the shoe update today because I put more goo on them, like shoe goo that I'm dripping on the. You probably saw it if you've seen the shoes. So I added more of that, and then I gotta paint it red tomorrow. I'll have an update tomorrow. I might stream. I think I'll stream tomorrow. You're not the lurker we're yelling at. Of course, y'all. You're not the lurkers that I'm talking about when I'm talking about lurkers. I love that y'all check in, and I appreciate that, 1010. But there's people who have never talked to me, who have simply never talked to me, that lurk my stream, like daily and nightly, and that's weird. Like it's weird, you know, weird. I don't know why Vanilla Ice just popped in my head. And I don't know if somebody's making jokes to themselves or to their friends about me being Vanilla Ice, but I'll take it. At least I can spit, bitch. The fuck? You sound like you better watch it, Sophie. You can call me Vanilla Ice all day. I want up you. Say Vanilla Ice. How about that? I'm vicious. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be. I thought I was flirtatious this week, but I think sometimes 1111. Me being flirtatious is what comes off as vicious, aggressive, sensitive, etc. Really me. And I think I'm being fun. It's like, oh, I'm hurting feelings. I'm being loud. I'm being aggressive and aggro. Holy fuck. Um, Dynamicism. Is that a word? Because I feel like there should be a word to describe like I'm not. I'm genuinely not used to it yet. catches me off guard every fucking time. It literally always catches me off guard. I go insane when I'm about to when my eggs are. It's like a primal thing. It's like in order to get the best mate, they have to be strong enough to handle it. It's like, what the fuck? Primal instincts. Absolutely catches me off guard every time. Crazy. The hunt, if you will. It's absolutely wild. Um, I think I get better and better at controlling it. If somebody points it out, I don't take it personally. I'm like, oh, yep, you're probably right. You're probably right. This is an ongoing issue for me. Thank you for letting me know. Definitely. It's getting better all the time. I used to be angry old man. I used to always take a stand. I used to hit right with my hand. And I never once ever felt bad. It's getting better all the time. Yeah, I love those little emojis more. Morpheus! Am I? That was really late the other night, huh? It's mid time. Let's say if I started an hour earlier than I did tonight, I'd be early. Tonight's like not as late as it is sometimes, and 2 nights ago, I think I started like 3 a.m. late. It's late as fuck. So, it's- yeah, that's so funny. Great. Hey, if your perception of early is my perception of late, I think we're all right on time. Okay. I don't know. Somebody's really got the giggles. There's something almost like a magical element to it. Very mystified. You're like mystified. There's no way. I kind of feel like there's somebody who's watching instead of talking to me. It's so funny. Cheers. Cheers. Just holding this bong, so I might as well rip it. I'm doing the best that I can. It's getting better all the time. Oh, you were there. I love that, dude. I gotta catch one of these days. I'm real particular. I very rarely watch anybody stream. I do hope I catch you. I'll always watch my friend Geo, even though he plays video games. It's always like Super Smash or something fun like that that I actually like. And he's been a friend of mine for years. He told me about Twitch. Well, him and my other friend, and oh my best friend streams, and I don't even watch his streams. I ain't even going fucking front. I don't watch his streams. I don't even know. Maybe it's because he hasn't streamed actually since I started streaming. Maybe he has. I don't think I've ever watched his streams. Watched mine a few times, mostly lurks. Um, and then there's been a couple random nights I've watched people once. I'm not very attentive to these things. I can't. It's hard for me to. I appreciate that everyone else does it. Sorry, now we're just like chit chatting. Um, I have a hard time staring at a screen too much. When I'm not one on here. So I like really appreciate that other people do it. I think it's also because I do social media stuff and also writing. And like, thank you for the sub. Fuck yeah. This one's on Jeff Bezos. Okay, yeah, see, because this is why no one can sleep when they watch my fucking stream. Are you kidding me? It's like fucking 3 in the goddamn morning and you're like a basketball game. Like, fuck. Oh, God. I'm such a silly goose. This is cool. Oh, this is cool. Wait, okay, I'm already following. Right? If I hover over it, I'm gonna just do it. No, cancel. Okay. I'm already. So, anyways, I think staring at a screen so much When I don't have to be, I usually don't. Fucking look at one. So I really appreciate when streamers watch my stream. That's like high honors because it's really hard to do it. I have to stare at a screen for that long, be on Twitch that much. But maybe that's because I wasn't super integrated into Twitch. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like really hard for me to catch people's streams. I feel bad about that. It'll be like so random if I do. Like like I was saying, my friend Gio, he just happened to be streaming when I woke up one day. So I was just like not ready to get out of bed and was able to just like chit chat with him for a second. Because he did like an 8-hour stream that went until noon morning. I don't remember. It was very cute. Just stuff like that is nice. I love those moments. I got very entranced by a woman on here once. Actually didn't ask their pronouns, but she was beautiful, gorgeous. I pretty much was in love with her. And so I was like, I should never watch anybody stream ever again. You know. Don't know her, didn't ever talk to her after that. Wasn't really in love. That's not how being in love works. Relax. If I ever say stuff like that, it's just because I say them. Hyperboles. Yeah. But it's also like, it's not like I socialize like that much. I'd like to socialize more than I do, but um, I'm not in a walking area. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really live in a place you need a car. I don't live in a city. Like, and I just happen to socialize less, which fulfills a lot of the social needs. I totally get being into it, especially probably COVID times got a lot of people back into it. It's like hard to break away, even because then you just want to catch up with your friends to some extent. I started to miss you guys when I don't stream for a few days. I'm like, I wonder what everybody's up to. I wonder what's going on. People still fucking into this? Like, what's good? It's so funny. You know, somebody asked me like what I do this for, like who I do this for, and I was like, I think we already talked about this. It just stopped me for a second because I was baffled that anyone could ask. Because I was like, isn't that obvious that there's people who are on here every fucking night that talk back? It's not like it's my, when I did YouTube videos, I had to ask myself who I did that for because the answer was always no one. It was sort of for me and it was sort of for God. It was sort of for the energy. It was sort of for like the few people who did watch my streams, but it wasn't benefiting me and it probably wasn't really benefiting anybody if it wasn't benefiting me. It was kind of a, "Oh, God, she's good, but this isn't what I want. This isn't what I need. Oh God, she's harsh, she's mean." Uh, um, YouTube didn't work for me, which works. I like it. Um, I guess I bring up not watching people's streams so that I am reminded more to do it. Change that about myself. I'm never going to shy away from like my own flaws in character or personality because if it's a flaw, then I'd like to change it. So rather than just blindly or blatantly accept myself for who I am, I try to like have a standard for myself or what I'd like in my life, right? And I like to kind of set it that way to be like, okay, well, you know what? I am fucking annoying. I noticed the past few days I could not shut the fuck up. Was bouncing around, dancing, jumping, yelling. Like my daily dancing and singing, sure, is one thing. But jumping around and getting got moving, I was like, what the hell, man? I'm annoying. And then today, I had like only one cup of coffee the whole day. And I was so quiet that I was like, yo, was I running on caffeine? Was I like running on caffeine? Did I have copious amounts of coffee? Yes. And was running on caffeine? I used to be someone, yeah, right? I used to be someone who was like so immune to it that like I would drink it all hours of the day, sleep or not, or what the fuck ever. Um, or just like had it so regularly that there was never an off time for it, right? So these days, it's like I have less and less of it. When I was drinking only a French press, it would be 1 cup of coffee every couple days, sometimes every day, cup and a half or whatever. If it's a painstaking procedure, but this is a matter of convenience. So I've been just drinking so much of it because I love the taste. I love the almost said an acronym and a macrame, but I don't want either one of those words. So somebody else is working on an acronym. Um, you know, when something is spelled. Oh, okay. I like that approach. I have a different story for how to explain that. That's cool, actually. I like that idea too. That'd be really long though. Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll see if we can do that. That's a cool thought. An acronym. Yeah. Yeah, it like writes itself. Very cute. It's funny. It could be, yeah. Shut up. Who are you? It's so funny. You love these ladies all the time. Um, and then someone else was macrame. That's the crochet, right? So somebody, maybe you do macrame or you bought something that was macrame and recently or something like that. But yeah, those two words came to mind. And um kind of like was talking about something else. What is that? Push the button because I know who it is. It's kind of funny, but um, those are really cute little cats. I love the catch kebab. Catch kebab. Um, what'd you pin? Stop it. Oh god. Um, what? Where did you pin a comment? I don't see anything pinned. You can keep them pinned. They're so cute. I like this one. There you are, tucked in with the water stream. Wash your car. Fishing frogs come screaming down like rain. These little weird frogs with frogs on top of their heads, or snakes, or whatever the fuck's going on there. So cute. These little cats. My voice sounds like shit today, probably because I wasn't drinking copious amounts of caffeine and fucking screaming all day. It was so crazy. I was so quiet. Got like halfway through my day and was like, damn, bitch, you really are low energy today. What's going on? And I was like, yo, you just didn't drink like a half gal of fucking coffee today. And I'm like, oh my God, this shit works for me now? Fuck yeah. Mm? Water. An acronym. Be fun. Let's see something else. I'm struggling because I think I don't have headphones anymore. I think I broke um not they weren't nice. They were kind of like for years, but I destroyed them basically. And at this point, I don't even know what I did with them. They're gone. Then I had these like because I think the way that I can learn stuff as easily as I do is with the headphones, where it's like if I block out literally everything else, I can zone in on it. But this time, because I don't have headphones, I've been trying to listen to this track. Trying to have something done in 2 days. It's so silly. I kind of love doing that though, because then I love to watch myself scramble around. I love to have the energy to do something to finish it into completion because it's like so easy for me to want to never do something again. Literally, it's too easy for me to never want to do something again. Um, but this was challenges me. This one challenges me because I think it's because I don't have headphones. I think it's because I can't listen to it on repeat, up close and personal, and get to know the music that I'm working with like I did any other time that I've made a song. And I don't I just fuck that up for myself. Um, and I keep thinking, well, I don't need headphones. I don't need headphones. I can play music. It's fine. But so little, so late, I'm realizing that that is a key process. I think is having it right there. But I like my over the ear headphones, anyways. I hate having stuff inside my ears. Um, cause probably because I'm autistic. Who knows? I guess probably. Who wouldn't guess that? Yeah, I think everybody needs, except any fucking doctor I've ever met. They're like obviously schizophrenic. Like, really? That's your conclusion? That's so odd to me. But okay, do you? Um, gonna do me. You do you. I'll do me. Peace be with you. Um, I'm like just kidding because there's nothing wrong, inherently wrong with being anything, right? Um, but my words cut deep because you have to remember the days in which you worked with somebody who was, and that scared you at first, but intrigued you at the same time because that was the best fucking stuff. It was the best fucking stuff, and I still can definitely tell. There's a lot of parallels. You'd be surprised. I think, well, I'd be surprised. I don't know where I get half the information I get from, right? These are stories that develop over time. The things that I slowly have been taught. And 6 months ago, not even 6 months ago, probably three, four, what month is it now? Five. So January ish, New Year time, New Gregor year. I was like, oh, tarot's the carrot that dangles. Yes, we took a break then. We take a break now. We took a break Pisces season, which would have been March, taking a break now because it's just something I care about so much, but is being, I don't want to say abused for power. Love that. Are these all Mr. Weird? No, you put these together yourself. That's so dope. Love your weird self. That's so good. Hell yeah, I do love my weird self. Fucking wild. Um, the hell was I even talking about? I was like going really in depth about something that nobody really needed to know. Um, but there was this dangling of the carrot kind of energy with the tarot where I was getting sick of everybody and everything, I admit. I was like, fuck all y'all's lack of communication. I gotta get up here and fucking pour my heart out to everybody and everything all the goddamn time and resolve everybody's issues, even though nobody has any resolution for mine. That's fine. I'll figure it out myself. Healers heal themselves. Period. Um, you can get help from other healers, but in order to even become the healer you need to be, you have to be healing, and that's of the self. You may heal people along the way as practice is before you even realize that it is what it is. But hell yeah. Oh, I love you so much. Thank you. Yes. Yes, I do. I have so much fun in life. I have way more fun than a lot of people. And that's why they kind of hate me for it. And the fact that I'm better looking than most people makes them hate me even more. I don't fucking care, man. What the fuck? Like, oh, I'm just supposed to pretend like that doesn't happen and I'm not being bullied most of the time and people aren't constantly making fun of me. I'm supposed to just keep a smile on my face and pretend like it's not because of those things. Okay. I'm supposed to just be like, "No, I really actually just deserve people treating me like that. I actually just deserve people thinking that I don't work hard or that I am a fucking bad person and I just deserve the reputation that people put on me because I have always been modest enough to say, "Okay, well, you're gonna think what you think, and maybe I do need to work on myself. Allow me to exit the building," right? Like, what the fuck? So now I just say, yeah, bitches mad, jealous, and sometimes kind of crazy. That's fine. Go be that. I'll be this. Love it all the time. So, anyway, love my headphones. Love the parallels. Loves that this story went from feeling like carrots because some people really do kind of get chronic into the tarot. They get really lost in the stream. They get lost in the cards and the pulling and the da 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 da. And I feel like I always teetered on the line of like wanting to know and connect and be a part of that community to some extent, while also being like, no, anything is going to dictate whatever, right? Like, kind of like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. No, it doesn't feel right, blah, blah, blah. Unresolved questions, unanswered questions, unresolved, perhaps trauma. And so by connecting, being in tune, and seeing what others had to say in comparison to my own readings each week or every day, whatever, led me back to what I was doing before I was doing it while I was starting this. And watching how they coincide and how easily it all does, right? Like, my God, I'm even impressed myself at this point, and that's it's not like it's hard to impress me because other people can impress me very easily, but because I sometimes things come with ease to me, I'm like, ah, it's nothing. Don't even worry about it. And so people are like, oh, don't worry about it. Allow me to just have you do that endlessly, tirelessly for free for me. Then if it's no problem, not a big deal for you. I'm like, okay, that's not, well, it's not what I meant. But okay, I get, not good. So now I have to embrace more. These things took time to develop, and it's only because I started so young doing them and waited so long, right, before I proved them that they became as good as they are. Um, but I took that jack of all trades thing very seriously, I think, it came to art, life, experience, right? All that. I was like, I'm gonna have a slice of all of it, right? I don't want like a fucking a pie because I might have a slice of that and then be like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the pie. I can have a couple more slices. I want that one cheesecake platter that you get that has like each one's a different flavor. Maybe you get two of each. Maybe like some have two if they're really good, some are similar, but they're all like different. Give me that, you know? Give me one of those. Nice upkeep. When you cut a pie, what happens? It goes filling just I need the structure of it. The cheesecake platter instead of a great big pie. I was thinking about the Kate Bush song, but a pie. Like pulling out of a oven somehow rhymes with something about a great big pie. I don't know. Anyways, I'm babbling. I feel like I was in the zone and then I sunk down too low. Where we go? We went all the way down there. We went all the way down deep. I think that was a you and me. And now I gotta come back up to everyone else's reality. Be where we're all at. Isn't that funny how one, oh my God, and then one left, one less. So, um, it's kind of an incredible feat to have loved myself through everything, but to actually be someone or something that is somewhat is impressive even to me, who I've been very hard to impress for myself over the years, yes? Even though I think the world of everyone else. Starting to think the world of myself. But it has made me realize I should have always thought the world of myself, and many people did think the world of me. And what hurts the most is realizing the people who don't are the reason I never did either. That's ouch. That's ouch. That's a ouch. Said neither. Thank you for the follow, Julie LaRose. I'm good. How are you? Just chilling. I'm really not doing tarot. I was gonna read some Be Here Now. Hi. How are you? I good. Your screen name reminded me of La Vie en Rose. Know what it is? A Grace Jones song. We missed her birthday. Her birthday was May 19th. I mean, she's alive, so like, what do you do to celebrate like a random person's living birthday that you don't know? But we could have at least been like homage, theme of the day, and now it's Gemini season. And it sucks. She's all at the end, you know. Whoa, what the fuck, Grace Jones? Oh my god, live for a long time. That's all. Oh, hate how much she comes up when I'm streaming because it's like, oh, I kind of probably do know what that means, don't I? That's okay. Brace for anything. So how's everybody feeling? What are we feeling? Would you all like to chat for another 28 minutes before we read for a bit? Or would you like to take a pause and start reading now? Not chat so much, but hear from Ram Dass rather than myself. I go either way. That's what I'll say. I've noticed there's a bunch of people came in as I was about to switch, so I was like, I don't know. Did you have any questions? Did you need anything? Do you want me to wait? Did you want to talk more? Want to stay? Hi, thank you for the follow, Nathan. Cool banner profile picture. I like that a lot. Cool. We can chat. Mm, I forgot. I kind of do want to roll the ad. I grab my ashtray because that's what I've been burning my incense on, and that needs to be cashed. And I think I do want to read some Ram Dass before I get too tired because I also so I was trying to have this song done tomorrow. Okay, so you know what's weird? I feel something in my chest. I don't know if somebody who just came on here because like this has not been an issue for me, and as I'm breathing now, it's not. Somebody's wheezing. Yeah, it's not me. It happened one time while I was talking to you. I don't know if it's somebody who just came on here, has been having trouble breathing, has got some wheezing going on. I don't. Yeah, somebody I don't want to say get it checked out. I think I'm just addressing it. That you're having a hard time with it. Like I have not been struggling. I've been very blessed to have very perfect, lovely breathing that feels very clear in my beautiful lungs. Yeah, like someone is I feel the wheeze. Um go on, come on, leave me breathless, tell me, tease me. I'm just kidding. A night under my name. I don't think it's that. I think someone was actually wheezing though. Um, see, I'm fine though. It's weird. It's weird. They ain't been here, whoever it is. They don't say their fucking name or their fucking sun sign. They just drink punch and die. Sorry, what the fuck? Why would I say that? It's eat hot chip and lie, not drink punch and die. Jesus Christ. Maybe like an ego death if it's that kind of punch, yeah. Can't deal with myself. You were hoping to catch some tarot from me. You probably never will again. Watch some of the VODs, subscribe to my Patreon, or go to my website. Find a whole bunch of stuff on my link tree. If you want to consume any of the tarot content or book a personal reading, you can do that on my website. But I'm really not doing it on the stream anymore. I might in a few more weeks or something. But I'm tired of y'all. Not you personally, obviously. I'm tired of y'all fucking asking, draining me for tarot. I got so many other, not better or cooler, but both better and cooler things to do than fucking tarot on here. And I love tarot, don't get me wrong. Personal readings still slap. The stream readings are even still fun. But for me, I just do not get enough out of it for how much people come on here and expect a drain from this bank. Fuck no, no more. But I love to talk, to chat, and to leave the cards out of it. And if you want to ask me about the stuff that I do or my practices, and obviously we sometimes do psychic messages, and I still check in with everybody. And I guess the whole point is that the tarot adds another element and layer of exhaustion and third party presence, whether it's guides, deceased people, extraterrestrials, right? That is more exhausting than my basic ability to. You're having chicken picara. I don't know what that is. Chicken picara for dinner. Fine. I don't know what time of day it is. Who's having dinner right now? But yeah, but I'm just kind of not doing that. That's my point. Gonna be reading though tonight. Do that type of reading now. You know, been fun. Like a lot of what Ram Dass is writing in this, but sometimes I check out, get bored, and just somehow read. Nice. I had ramen the other night, but I made a pesto. Amazing. I felt that wheeze again. Is it happening whenever it's happening for whoever's on here wheezing? What could you say that would confirm what I'm thinking to the person who's wheezing? What do you think? Who is that? This is what I would suggest. It's the one with the heart. Okay. The one with the heart. Is it? You're wheezing? So it's maybe oddly enough, I don't know. You said you do have you're all cardinal? No, 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 that's Momo. No, you're cardinal too. Your placements were like Aries and Cap and Cancer or something like that, right? But I was thinking Libra. Placements are the lungs. I can't believe it. Can't believe you're trying to sleep and you're wheezing. You can't fucking breathe. That's so funny. Or it could be your heart chakra though, because my solution for you was to push on this area, and this would be your heart. So it's maybe not, you're searching for something in your lungs, trying to get the breath, trying to cough it up, you know, in the physical way, but in the spiritual way, you had to get it out of you. It's something that you deeply want to express from the bottom of your chest, right? It's not a blockage in your airways or chakra. Beat on your chest a little bit. Okay, well that feels scary. You don't want to do that unless you're like dying, right? Okay, chill out. But yeah, that's what I would say. And then you can rub it down. You pat it a little bit, and that should help over time. It's probably not too serious. Remember when the reason came up, I said it's not something you need to get checked out. It's probably something I need to check out. So I do those kind of readings still on the stream, by the way. It's that kind of stuff. If something's very important, yes, it'll come up. Don't ask me for shit. Don't ask me anything. Even if I'm doing tarot, don't fucking ask me anything. I don't like to know. I don't have to know. You don't have to tell me anything. I will know. I will find out. You hear that? I have not been wheezing at all today. I cannot explain. Like it sounds like I swallowed a whistle out of nowhere. And yeah, I mean, I've been streaming for 45 minutes, and this is something that has only happened in the past like 5 10 minutes. So it's kind of like funny to me. Um, whatever I'm saying is ringing true for somebody. It is in you. It's not an infection, it's you. And it's just expression that needs to come through. Expression's more of love from the heart, the opening the heart chakra, to be able to capacitate the lungs or something like that is the message I'm getting for the wheezer, for whoever's wheezing. Um, cool, 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 cool. Can look into these people do the big breaths. I did some of it when I was healing, but it's very hard for me. Something did, my picture fell off the wall. I mean, I knocked it off the wall to be fair, but it still fell. Um, there are people who will take these like insanely deep, fast breaths, like but like 30 of them in a row in like a minute. It's like intoxicating is their whole point. And they're like, I get so much oxygen in my body that it's like a higher functioning health mechanism. Like I just got lightheaded from doing that. That's like, yeah, you can like heal yourself with the breath and stuff. You want to look into that. It's pretty cool. Like I said, when I was really badly injured, I did try to do some of that in the earlier days, but it faded out as a habit that faded out quickly for me, just because of the nature of it. So, but a habit that I'm trying to bring back is reading, and I know I've talked about this like every single fucking night on stream since I bought a book and then bought a bunch more books. The first time I bought new books, that was a bit of a splurge for no reason. Like, girl, when did you ever have a fucking spending problem until you went to a bookstore? The fuck? Why did you do that? It's okay. We always recover. It wasn't that bad. But the second round was used books, so I was like, fuck yeah, you can have my $5. Like, let's go, run it. Let's get the books. Okay. Now I have to read them. Now I have to read them. Now I have to read them. And it's not even that I have to, it's that I want to. Because when I was a kid, I could read a book in a day if I wanted, if I had the time, if I had nothing else, right? Um, and I appreciate books so much as a writer myself and one who always aspired to be a writer or an author, always wanted to write a book. I've read books almost maliciously, but I've read them meticulously from front cover to back cover and every single page in between, all the copyright. I still read it. I still do. I don't know why. I like to read books and remember the date and who published it and how many editions and all those things. So when I read, it's pretty intensive, right? And I have a photographic memory, which I think really helps with reading because it makes it very easy to paint images in my mind. Especially because if something is fitting a similar description to something I've seen in real life, photographic memory, I can just pull it up and use that and then use whatever words are being said to manipulate the images that I've pulled up in my head to suit the story better. I think that's what makes reading so easy for me is the ability to just have so much imagery. Right? I can like play a movie scenes in my head, and I can definitely create visual scenes for words that are well described. Yeah. I like a certain type of writing. It's got to be very detailed, but very, very strong in its voice and have a good tone without being overly saturated and annoyingly bogged down with the details, right? Oscar Wilde walks that line. If you read The Picture of Dorian Gray, there's points in it where you're like, this seems unnecessary, like an uncomfortable amount of detail. But that's vanity. Like that's narcissism. That's Dorian Gray. So he really told that line of almost like cringe level of writing. But then you read something like The Importance of Being Earnest, and it is so radically different, right? A complete comedy. It's so cute, even. Just such a silly, the whole thing is so silly. Um, And the comparison of the two is definitely one bipolar attitude. No, I'm just kidding. Not here to diagnose anybody. Love Oscar Wilde though. So very, very cool. I'm trying to get back in the habit of reading books. So while some habits fade, maybe I need to bring the breathing back myself. Okay. He's just like lay down and just like for real do like fucking 30 deep ass heavy the like deepest heaviest breath, not just like a deep breath like when you're at the doctor's like a normal deep breath, but like you're gasping for air type deep breath over and over again. It's just like you gotta watch like the videos of people doing it and explaining it better, but because you could probably pass out. I don't even know. It's just it's definitely a feeling. It's definitely a feeling. So I tried to keep my good habits, habits that I have always had, habits that I like to have, habits that are healthy for me. I call back. So yes, I bought some books. Didn't have many I wanted to read lately, so I got things that interest me. I got things relevant to my life now. I got things that looked good. I got things that I felt real life, real shit. I think that now I'm gonna read some Ram Dass, okay? I gotta take this ad break because we only got 10 minutes left on the timer, but I'm gonna grab some stuff, clean up a bit, ready to read before we go. Because I'll probably just read for at most an hour. Yeah, I could probably read for an hour. That sounds like good and healthy. I don't know if I need to read this for an hour, but we'll see. I also am trying to write that song still. Going well. It's weird. The writing is the last component where I have the song organized, but like I said, I don't know the melody that well. I don't actually know the music as well as I usually do when I write. So it's throwing me off. But I got the idea for the story, and I think that's more important. That way I'm going to organize the song, the way I'm going to describe it, the way I'm going to mix genres and things. But I do kind of need to get it done in 2 days. Oh my God, you're still here. Oh, that's so interesting. God, that's so funny. That's just weird, isn't it? Do you not think that's weird to you? Do you not think that should be weird to me? Okay, either way. Yeah, of course I hear you. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And no, I wasn't referring to lurking, y'all. Chill. People know who they are and what they do. I'm working hard, fool. So we're gonna roll the ads and we're gonna go to the place. Yeah? Be here now when we get back. 3 minutes. Use them wisely. Ta-da! This is the new reading screen. Isn't this cute? I love this. I didn't know what it would look like with the chat, but the chat is very cute. So I'm packing this up for Rom, obviously. I'm gonna light some incense. I do need to change my bong water. It's in an unfortunate state. I was so concentrated on cleaning this the past couple days that I ignored this, forgot to change this. I change my bong water every like 3 days. And I mean like put vinegar like apple cider vinegar in there, shake it up, clean it out, rinse it. Filtration system is only a filtration system if the filtration is clean, you know? Thank you, my morphin. I'm so curious and have so many questions, by the way. And I don't want to take up other people's time. I thought your curious method of Twitch, you wanted to know how fucking legit I was, even though you knew. You wanted to prove to other people how legit I was, didn't you? And that's sweet because I didn't think you had that kind of faith in me, even though I should have known. And I should have seen it all along. And I'm glad I saw it before it wasn't too late. You know? That's what I'll say. Instead of asking questions. What up, Dom? Dom fucking rocks, bro. Dom rockin' fucks too. Or his music is good. That's what is that supposed to mean? It's going. Going good. It's going really good. I feel like I just got resin on my fingers though, and I was gonna read this book, and that's not good. I didn't. No, 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 no. It's totally not what I meant. I believe that you're a virgin, but I meant like your music fucks. Like that's it's like young people. I thought that was a Gen Z no thing. Okay, um, because it's Dom fucking rocks. Rockin' fucks. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't. You just said you don't fuck, so like. Hey, so you're a virgin. I'm sorry. I don't fucking know. Sorry. Just meant your music is really good. Never mind. Okay. Let's never talk again. Cool. Cool. So anyways, packing this up, we're gonna fucking read. Yeah, you're welcome. So damn, I grind this all out. I should have just stayed in chat mode at this point. We will be reading. We can talk about Ram Dass. If anybody has any questions, we can kind of catch up on where we left off. So far, the only thing that's really happened is he was a psychologist professor at Harvard, took some acid, no, took some mushrooms, and then chased the dragon for years. After that, lost his job at Harvard. No, I'm not doing tarot. I'm so sorry. I am not even trying to be a bitch. I don't know what I'm just so confused. I said it like 1,200 times that I'm not doing readings for like a while and that I'm reading from a book. Like I'm just reading a book. Sorry. Sorry. I wasn't trying to be a bitch. I'm just like, yeah, sorry. I was a little thrown by that one because I thought um, it's it's the experience, and that's exactly what this book's about too. Is their shared experience, and you know, it's funny because I'm sure where the story is going is eventually finding some sort of resolution to this need of fulfillment that he inevitably finds due to psilocybin, right? And the nature of psychedelics. So, in the early days, in the first few years, Ram Dass is complaining that he can't, like calls himself anxious and neurotic for the psilocybin, finds that it seems to be curing, but then finds that it comes back and seems like he just keeps once more chasing the high of alleviating those anxieties like he did the first time. Does not find a solution. This is from 1955 to 1961. He's losing his job and traveling the world to teach people about psychedelics, and he himself has no resolve. No, I'm not doing tarot. I'm taking a break from tarot. I talked about this every night on stream since I stopped doing it. That's what I was trying to tell her. And that's what I was saying earlier is I'll check in and do like somebody's wheezing in their chest. Somebody needs to work on their heart chakras, but I'm not doing tarot anymore. I'm really over it. I'm not doing it on here. I might once in a while in the future, but not anytime soon, not lately, and not usual anymore. No. But receive a message. So true, though. The way you said that does not imply tarot. You will receive a message that you seek. That is absolutely true, Morph. Shouldn't have taken it the wrong way like I did. But either way, they're gone. Yeah, no, I know. And also, same. Literally, I love how we said the same thing. How we're like, wait, we both did not process that correct. Love it. Growth, baby. Just trying to deal with Gemini season at this point. Just kidding. I love it. Fun. Um, so like 1955 to 1961, he's doing drugs. I don't know, because sometimes we just do psychic messages, and honestly, because there's no like drug category. I'm reading a book about somebody's spiritual journey on psychedelics, and it still feels like that's so weird. Just chat. I tried using just chatting for when I was just chatting, and it was just like a bunch of like weirdo, creepy dudes would come harass me, and like all my regulars wouldn't join until I was in the tarot category in the beginning, in the early days. At this point, it's just because until people realize I'm not doing tarot anymore, and because yeah, I could be under the reading category, but I don't want random people who want to be read to get to know me in that way. It's easier for everyone to introduce me via the tarot. Yeah, maybe I should do that, but it didn't. Like I said, in the early days, it didn't work for me. It was just like a weird crowd over there waiting for women to prey upon, basically. Yeah. Thanks for asking. Oh yeah, incense. I feel like, oh, we'll do the angels. I want to do the angels. Angels touch. Yeah, well, that's literally exactly what it is, I think. Is the dudes in Just Chatting who watch chicks stream, watch chicks with their tits out, who take speed dating and will talk to them and flirt with them, and yeah, a lot of horny dudes on this site for sure. But they feel comfortable being horny on main in the Just Chatting way more often than they do on Terra. We've had a couple of those on here. I can only think of one major one that was like, dude, why are you being so horny right now? Um, but other than that, it's not really. Oh, I would never. I would never. Kudos and commends to those who do brave, fucking very brave work. Could not do it. Could not do it. Taro. It's like potato, but it's taro, but it's Edgar Allan Poe. It's cute. Taro. Or it's like poetry. Poet. Well, thank you. Good God. Who are you? Kind of so darling. Got Sookie Stackhouse vibe. I got Sookie Stackhouse vibes. Oh, Taro. Very cute. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. How old are you? It's so funny. Um, what? Mario? Hello, Jade Pony. You were here once before. That's hilarious. It's literally you. How did I just instantly know to follow it and said you're so darling and was like a potato? Like she lives in Mojave in a Winnebago. His name was Bobby. He looks like a potato. She's in love with a boy from the rodeo who pulls a rope. I'm not 11111. Shoot when they let those suckers go. I love that. Okay. I don't know. If I had to think about it, and all the angel numbers kind of had their own meanings. 12 being towards the end, as it is, a higher number. Um, kind of seems like it's a good place to be in life, a good stable place that you find yourself, right? If 1111 is embarking on change, then 1212 would be enacting it, having progressed and processed that change. Dom, I don't want to know that. I don't want to hear that. I don't like that. Are you a bully? Dom, are you even a real person? All right, you guys. This isn't chat mode, okay? This is reading. This is now reading. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Let's get to the books, all right? Okay, I do want to rip this, even though I'm like, somebody gave me the wheezies. Wow, this tastes so good right now. Hell yeah, Ram Dass. Truly a sacred practice. I'm feeling him for sure. I'm kind of right here with you. Go about and say many of the things that you'd want to say, but I do ask that you hold your tongue because you speak upon a Bible for many people, little lady. This is the one time elders are going to come say, hey, you could watch your mouth, but we respect your authority as the youth. Say, hey, this shit is whacking out of date. Okay, hold your tongue over the book. Got it. I called myself out for that last night. And he came down just now to call me out again, right? We just squared that up, put it on stream, and cannot cuss over this book anymore. It was mean. But I'm sorry. It was dead chrome. Thank you for the follow. Um, that's so funny. I'm about to start reading this book. There will be no cussing. No. Bhagwan Das. I guess this is him. Ram Das grew his hair out at one point, maybe. I was in the Blue Tibetan with my friend and these other people, and in walked this very extraordinary guy, at least extraordinary with regard to his height. He was 6'7", and he had long blonde hair and a long blonde beard. He was a Westerner, an American, and was wearing holy clothes, a dhoti, a cloth Indian men wear of pants, and so on. When he entered, he came directly over to our table and sat down. Okay, so I'm guessing that's who that guy is. Now, up until then, I had found this interesting thing that I don't think I could have labeled up until that moment. Once, when I had met Geshe Wengal at Freehold, New Jersey, I was meeting a being who knew, but I couldn't get to it because I wasn't ready somehow. We were very close. We loved each other extraordinarily, but I hadn't been able to really absorb whatever I needed to absorb. Now, here was this young fellow, and again, I had the feeling I had met somebody who knew. Yeah, it's funny you can be on two accounts at the same time. Look at the Mystico page if you want a reading. Sorry, the description tabs don't work yet. I'm working on that. I'm just reading a book right now. I don't know. I don't know how to describe this to you, except that I was deep in my despair. I had gone through game after game after game, first being a professor at Harvard, then being a psychedelic spokesman, and still people were constantly looking into my eyes like, do you know? Just that subtle little look, and I was constantly looking into their eyes. Do you know? And there we were. Do you? Do you? Maybe he? Do you? And there was always that feeling that everybody was very close and that we all knew we knew, but nobody quite knew. I don't know how to describe it other than that. And I met this guy, and there was no doubt in my mind. It was just like meeting a rock. It was just solid all the way through. Everywhere I pressed, there he was. We were staying in a hotel owned by the king or the prince or something because we were going first class, so we spirited this fellow up to our suite in the Sawalti Hotel. And for 5 days, we had a continuing seminar. We had this extraordinarily beautiful Indian sculptor, Harish Johari, who was our guide and friend. Harish's fellow Bhagwan and David and I sat there, and for 5 days, high on peach melbas and hashish and mescaline, we had a seminar with Alexandra David, Niels Books, and Sir John Woodroffe's Serpent Power, and so on. At the end of 5 days, I was still absolutely staggered by this guy. He had started to teach me some mantras and working with beads. When it came time to leave to go to Japan, I had the choice of going on to Japan on my first class route or going off with this guy back to India on a temple pilgrimage. He had no money, and I had no money, and he was going to change my lifestyle considerably. I thought, well, look, came to India to find something, and I still think this guy knows. I'm going to follow him. But there was also the counter thought. How absurd. Who's writing this bizarre script? Here I am. Come halfway around the world, I'm going to follow through India a 23-year-old guy from Laguna Beach, California. I said to Harish and to David, do you think I'm making a mistake? And Harish said, no. He's a very high guy. So I started to follow him, literally follow him. Now I'm suddenly barefoot, he said. You're not going to wear shoes, are you? That sort of thing. And I've got a shoulder bag and my dotty and blisters on my feet and dysentery, the likes of which you can't imagine. And all he says is, well, fast for a few days. He's very compassionate, but no pity. I love that. And we're sleeping on the ground or on these wooden tables that you get when you stop at monasteries. And my hip bones ache. I go through an extraordinary physical breakdown, become very childlike, and he takes care of me. And we start to travel through temples, the Benishvar and Konark and so on. I see that he's very powerful, so extraordinarily powerful. He's got an ektara, a one-stringed instrument, and I've got a little Tibetan drum, and we go around to the villages, and people rush out and they touch our feet because we're holy men, which is embarrassing to me because I'm not a holy man. I'm obviously who I am, a sort of overage hippie, Western explorer, and I feel embarrassed when they do that and they give us food. And he plays and sings, and the Hindu people love him and revere him. And he's giving away all my money. But I'm clinging tight to my passport and my return ticket to America and traveler's check that I'll need to get me to Delhi. Those things I'm going to hold on to, and my bottle of LSD in case I should find something interesting. And during these travels, he's starting to train me in a most interesting way. We'd be sitting somewhere, and I'd say, did I ever tell you about the time that Tim and I? And he'd say, don't think about the past, just be here now. Silence. And I'd say, how long do you think we're going to be on this trip? And he'd say, don't think about the future, just be here now. And I'd say, I really feel crummy, my hips are hurting. Emotions are like waves, watch them disappear in the distance on the vast calm ocean. It just sort of wiped out my whole game. That was it. That was my whole trip. Emotions and past experiences and future plans. I was, after all, a great storyteller. So we were silent. There was nothing to say. He'd say, you eat this, or now you sleep here. And all the rest of the time, we sang holy songs. That was all there was to do. Or he would teach me asanas, hatha, yoga postures. But there was no conversation. I didn't know anything about his life. He didn't know anything about my life. He wasn't the least bit interested in all the extraordinary dramas that I had collected. He was the first person I couldn't seduce into being interested in all this. He just didn't care. Gosh, and then I look up and you're right there because doesn't this remind you of us a little bit? That is hilarious. Okay. Um, He's a very high guy, also cracked me up. That's adorable. Um, because the young one, it's cute, right? This dynamic 23, 23. That it's just time stopped moving in that moment just now, didn't it? Because when I was reading it, I thought of us. That is so cute. Um, because where did this go? And yet I never felt so profound an intimacy with another being. It was as if he were inside of my heart. And what started to blow my mind was that everywhere we went, he was at home. If we went to a Sierra Divine Buddhist monastery, he would be welcomed, and suddenly he would be called Dharmasara, a southern Buddhist name, and some piece of clothing he wore. I suddenly saw was also I suddenly saw was also worn by all the other monks, and I realized that he was initiated in that scene, and they'd welcome him, and he'd be in the inner temple, and he knew all the chants, and he was doing them. We'd come across some Shavits, followers of Shiva, or some of the Swamis, and I suddenly realized that he was one of them. On his forehead, he would be appropriate tilik or mark, and he would be doing their chanting. We'd meet Karagrupa Lamas from Tibet, and they would all welcome him as a brother, and he knew all their stuff. He had been in India for 5 years, and he was so high that everybody just welcomed him, feeling he's obviously one of us. He was just so high. When she's high. I don't know. That's what's so relatable. I don't know. Was this guy on drugs is what's confusing me. Were they doing drugs together? Because I didn't do drugs. The only difference. Not when I was his age, not at 23. I was already done with them, so maybe I just stayed high, yeah. An argument for the ages. I couldn't figure out what his scene was. All I personally felt was this tremendous pull towards Buddhism because Hinduism always seemed a little gauche. The paintings were a little too gross, the colors were bizarre, and the whole thing was too melodramatic and too much emotion. I was pulling towards that clean, crystal clear simplicity of the Southern Buddhists or the Zen Buddhists. I like Hinduism, but it is complex, but that's what I like about it. I love the theatrics and the drama and the absolute maliciousness behind all of it. After about 3 months, I had a visa problem. We went to Delhi, and, and I was still quite unsure of my new role as a holy man. And so when I got to Delhi, I took $4 out of my little traveler's check and bought a pair of pants and a shirt and a tie. And I took my horn rimmed glasses out of my shoulder bag and stuck them back on, and I became again Dr. Alpert to go to the visa office. Dr. Albert, who had a grant from the Folk Art Museum of New Mexico for collecting musical instruments, and I did my whole thing. I kept my beads in my pocket because I didn't feel valid in this other role. And then the minute I got my visa fixed, he had to have his annual visa worked over. And then he had to go to a town nearby in which we went to, and we were welcomed to this big estate and given a holy man's house and food and brought to us. And he said, "You stay here, I'm going to see about my visa." He told me just what to do. I was just like a baby. Eat this, sit here, do this. And I just gave up. He knew, do you know? I'll follow you. He spoke Hindi fluently. My Hindi was very faltering, so he could handle it all. We had spent a few weeks in a Chinese Buddhist monastery in Sarnath, which was extraordinarily powerful and beautiful, and something was happening to me, but I couldn't grasp the total nature of it all. There was a strange thing about him. At night, he didn't seem to sleep like I did. That is, any time I'd wake up at any night, I'd look over and he'd be sitting in the lotus position. And sometimes I'd make believe I was asleep and then open sort of halfway eye to see if he wasn't cheating. Maybe he was sleeping now, but he was always in the lotus posture. Sometimes I see him lie down, but I would say 80% of the time when he would be sleeping heavily, he would be sitting in some state or other, which he'd never described to me. But he was not in personal contact. I mean, there was no way of him moving around or nothing seemed to happen to him. That night at the estate, I went out. I had to go to the bathroom and I went out under the stars. Sizzled. And the following event happened. Okay, cool. The previous January 20th at Boston in the Peter Bent Brigham Hospital, my mother had died of a spleen illness. The bone marrow stopped producing blood, and the spleen took over and grew a very large, and they removed it, and then she died. It had been a long illness, and I had been with her through the week prior to her death. Through it, we become extremely close. We had transcended mother child and personalities, and we had come into contact. I spent days in the hospital just meditating, and I felt no loss when she died. Instead, there was a tremendous continuing contact with her. And in fact, when I had been in Nepal, I had a vision of her one night when I was going to bed. I saw her up on the ceiling, and I wondered whether to go to India or to go on to Japan, and she had a look that was the look of, "You damn fool, you're always getting into hot water, but go ahead, and I think that's great." She looked peeved, pleased. It was like there were two beings in my mother. She was a middle class woman from Boston who wanted me to be absolutely responsible in the most culturally acceptable fashion. And there was the little swinger underneath, the spiritual being underneath who said, "Go, baby." And I felt these two beings that look which supported my going back to India. That night, I'm under the stars, and I hadn't thought about her at all since that time. I'm under the stars urinating, and I look up at the stars, are very close because it's dark, and I suddenly experience the presence of a mother, and I'm thinking about her now, how she died or anything about that. I just feel her presence. It's very powerful, and I feel great love for her, and then I go back to bed. This is his mom. Yes. Of course, Bhagwan Das is not the least interested in any of my life, so he'd be the last person to talk about my thoughts or visions. The next morning, he says, "We've got to go to the mountains. I've got a visa problem. We've got to go see my guru." Now, the term guru had meant for me in the West sort of a high grade teacher. There was a Life article about Allen Ginsberg, Guru Goes to Kansas, and Allen was embarrassed and said, "I'm not really a guru," and I didn't really know what a guru was. Bhagwan Das also said we were going to borrow the Land Rover, which had been left with this sculptor, to go to the mountains. And I said I didn't want to borrow the Land Rover. I'd just gotten out of that horrible blue box and I didn't want to get back into it. And I didn't want the responsibility. David had left it with this Indian sculptor and he wouldn't want to loan it to us anyway. I got very sulky. I didn't want to go see a guru. And suddenly I wanted to go back to America in the worst way. I thought, what am I doing? I'm following this kid and all he is. But he says, we've got to do this. And so we go to the town where the sculptor lives, and within a half hour, the sculptor says, "You have to go see your guru? Take the Land Rover." Well, that's interesting. We're in the Land Rover, and he won't let me drive. So I'm sitting there sulking. He won't let me drive, and we're in the Land Rover, which I don't want to have. And now I'm in a really bad mood. I stopped smoking hashish a few days before because I'm having all kinds of reactions to it. And so I'm just in a very, very uptight, negative, paranoid state. And all I want to do is go back to America. And suddenly I'm following this young kid who wants to drive. And all he wanted me for was to get the Land Rover. And now the whole paranoid con world fills my head. I'm full of it. We go about 80 or 100 miles and we come to a tiny temple by the side of the road in the foothills of the Himalayas. We're stopping, and I think we're stopping because the truck's coming by, but when we stop, people surround the car, which they generally do, but they welcome him and he jumps out. And I can tell something's going to happen because as we go up into the hills, he's starting to cry. We're singing songs and tears are streaming down his face, and I know something's going on, but I don't know what. We stop at this temple and he stop at this temple and he asks where the guru is, and they point up on a hill, and he goes running up this hill, and they're following him, so delighted to see him. They all love him so much. I get out of the car. Now I'm additionally bugged because everybody's ignoring me. And I'm following him, and he's ahead of me, and I'm running after him barefoot up this rocky path, and I'm stumbling. By now, my feet are very tough, but still his legs are very long and I'm running and people are ignoring me and I'm very bugged and I don't want to see the guru anyway. And what the hell? We go around this hill so that we come to a field which does not face on the road. It's facing into a valley, and there is a little man in his 60s or 70s sitting with a blanket around him. And around him are 8 or 9 Hindu people in its beautiful tableau. Clouds, beautiful green valley, lovely, lovely place, the foothills of the Himalayas. This is a really long section. Holy fuck. I, y'all, I've been reading for like probably only 15 minutes. Feels like forever. Okay, let's keep going. And this fellow, Bhagwan Das, comes up, runs to this man, and throws himself on the ground, full face, doing Dunda Pranam. And he's stretched out, so his face is down on the ground, full length, and his hands are touching on the feet of this man who is sitting cross legged. And he's crying, and the man is patting him on the head, and I don't know what's happening. I'm standing on the side and thinking, I'm not going to touch his feet. I don't have to. I'm not required to do that. And every now and then, this man looks up at me and he twinkles a little. But I'm so uptight that I could care less. Twinkle away, man. Twinkle away, man. It's pretty good. um, then he looks up at me. He speaks in Hindi, of which I understand maybe half, but there is a fellow who's translating all the time who hangs out with him. And the guru says to Bakwandas, you have a picture of me? Bakwandas nods, yes. Give it to him, says the man, pointing at me. That's very nice, I think, giving me a picture of himself. And I smile and nod appreciatively, but I'm still not going to touch his feet. Then he said, he came in a big car. Of course, that's the one thing I'm really uptight about. Yeah. So he looks at me and he smiles and says, you give it to me? I start to say, what? And Bhagwan Das looks up. He's lying there and he says, Maharahi, meaning great king. If you want it, you can have it. It's yours. And I said, no, no, wait a minute. You can't give away David's car like that. This isn't our car. And the old man is laughing. In fact, everyone's laughing except me. Then he says, you made much money in America? Ah, at last he's feeding my ego, I think. So I flicked through all my years as a professor and years as a smuggler and all my different dramas in my mind. I said, yeah. How much you make? Well, I said, at one time, and I sort of upped the figure a bit, my ego, 25,000. So they all converted that into rupees, which was practically half the economic base of India, and everybody was terribly awed by this figure, which was complete bragging on my part. It was phony. I never made $25,000. And he laughed again, and he said, "You buy a car like that for me?" And when I remember what I went through in my mind, I came out of a family of fundraisers for the United Jewish Appeal, Brendis, at Einstein Medical School, and I never seen a hustling like this. He doesn't even know my name, and he already wants a $7,000 vehicle. Just want to point out the fact that he was a Harvard professor saying he never made $25,000, and that a Land Rover was $7,000. This was like 1960 something, not even 100 years ago. That is insane, right? Like, that's pretty nuts to think about. Let the man twinkle. Twinkle away, man. That's what it is. Twinkle away, man. That is so fucking funny. Um And I said, well, maybe. The whole thing was freaking me out so much. And he said, take them away and give them food. So we were taken and given food, magnificent food. We were together still, and the sawdust brought us beautiful food, and then we were told to rest. Sometime later, we were back in the Maharahi, and he said to me, come here, sit. So I sat down, and he looked at me, and he said, I think this is the hero. Twinkle away, man. It's my favorite quote. You were out under the stars last night. Uh-huh. You were thinking about your mother. Yes. Wow, I thought that's pretty good. I never mentioned that to anybody. She died last year. Uh-huh. She got very big in the stomach before she died. Yes. He leaned back and closed his eyes and said, spleen. She died of spleen. Who's he talking to? Maharahi. Wow. That sounds like me. Well, what happened to me at the moment, I can't really put into words. He looked at me a certain way. In that moment, two things happened. It seemed simultaneous. They do not seem like the cause and effect. Another picture with his mother. The first thing that happened was my mind raced faster and faster to try to get leverage, to get a hold on what he'd just done. I went through every super CIA paranoia I ever had. Who is he? Who does he represent? Where is the button he pushes when the file appears?